Hi everyone, it's Intang Mayumi. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I have two cards for you today. To start off, I'm using this Altenew Wave Builder stencil and I'm taping the stencil onto my surface using post-it tape so it doesn't move when I do my ink blending. I also temporarily adhere my panel on my surface and I'm using 80-pound Nina Solar White cardstock. And the ink I'm using on this panel is Cracked Pistachio Distress ink. After I'm done with the first layer, I'm going to flip my stencil like this and I'm going to tape it again so it doesn't move when I do my ink blending again. I love this stencil. This wave pattern is so cool. For my second panel, I did the same thing like the first one. I temporarily adhere my panel on my surface and tape down my stencil. And I'm using Scattered Straw Distress ink. And then after when I'm done with the first layer, I'm gonna flip my stencil and apply the color using my ink blending tool. This stamp set is from Ink Road Stamps and it's called Game On. So here are my two panels. Before I stamp the images and sentiments on my panel, I'm going to pour a generous amount of my powder from my powder tool. And I'm using dry brush here to spread the powder on my panel. I did this to make sure the ink on my panels are already dry. I'm going to use my Stamp Perfect and I'm going to arrange all my images and sentiments on my panel, and after I'm happy with the arrangement, I'm going to take a picture of it so I know where to place them later because I'm going to stamp the sentiment first because I'm going to emboss them and then I will remove all the images and stamp them with different colors later. I'm going to stamp the sentiments first. As you can see, I already removed the images and put them aside. And I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp these sentiments. And I'm going to emboss it with Wow Clear Embossing Powder. I did the same thing on this panel and I put all the images and sentiments first and I'm going to take a picture so I know where to place them later. And again, I set aside the images and I'm going to stamp this um, sentiments using VersaFine Onyx Black ink and emboss it with clear embossing powder. And I'm going to melt all the powder using my heat gun. For these images, I use Barn Door Distress ink and stamp them a couple of times to get good impression. And next one is Modelon, and again I stamp them a couple of times. For the sword, I use two inks. I use Peacock Feathers Distress ink and Memento Bahama Blue ink. For these images here, I use Fossilized Amber Distress ink. And I did the same thing on the second panel. I used the same colors. After we're done with stamping, we're gonna move on to the next step. I used Gina Marie Design Stitch Rectangle die set to die cut my panels. I used double-sided tape to adhere my panels onto my card base. For the sentiments inside my card, I use this Tim Holtz Things Slash Stock stamp set and Ink on 3 Pat alphanumeric stamp set. And I'm going to use Happy Birthday from that stamp set, the Tim Holtz one. And from this one, I'm going to use number 8. For the panels that will go in the inside of the cards, I again use the Altenew Wave Builder stencil in the same distress inks to match the front of the cards. I also die cut them a little bit smaller using the Ginemery Design Stitch Rectangle die set. And I'm going to use VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp Happy Birthday on this one. For this panel, I'm going to cut happy birthday sentiment, and I'm going to separate them because I want the happy on top there and then birthday on the bottom. And I also use the number 8 on this one. I'm going to do selective inking. I will use just the TH from the Thinking of You stamp and use post-it tape to mask the rest of the letters and stamp it on the card. I'm going to use this sparkle pop. I think this one is the gold, yellow gold color, and I'm just coloring the number 8. And again, I use double-sided tape on the panels that will go in the inside of my cards. And my card base are 110-pound craft cardstock that I got from Joann's. As always, thank you so much for always watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. So here are my cards that I made today using Altenew Wave Builder Stencil and Ink Road Stamps. Game on! I hope you like today's cards and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.